Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick content warning. A section of this video discusses themes of suicide and death, so if this topic is difficult, please take care of yourself. You could skip this section of the video with the timestamp that I've included, and I've also included resources that you can call or a website you could visit. Hey everyone, welcome back to the House of Anbu, and welcome to 2026. Bound to be one of the greatest years we've got in a while for content. So I'm really excited. I'm glad everyone's here with me. And yeah, today we have a longer video. I'll be going over all my 2025 rankings. So that's movies, TV series, anime, books, games, everything you can think of basically. With that, let's go into our video quote. Today's quote is, "It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." Alright, so starting off with movies, before I get into my top three, which I'll be doing for each category, I want to start off with honorable mention. This is Young Hearts. This movie technically came out in 2024 for most of the world, but technically it was 2025 for the United States. So I just want to give this movie an honorable mention because it really is a great movie. And as you can see with the high rating, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. It would actually be my number one movie if that was the case. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a queer romance movie, and I actually really did enjoy this movie. I think it's a phenomenal movie. The plot was great. The acting, this is some of the best child actors I've seen in a while. The music was great. It's just such a wholesome movie. I really recommend it, and honestly, it's one of my favorite movies I watched. And I'm not even big on romance movies, and it's definitely one of my favorite romance movies I've watched. It's fun, it's enjoyable, plot's good. Like I said, the acting's good. Really is just such a great movie, so emotional. I don't want to go too in depth because I think this is more of a niche movie, so I highly recommend it to you guys. I won't really go into spoilers, but I don't know, maybe I'll make a in-depth video if anyone else out there watch this movie. But yeah, I love this movie, and yeah, I think it, in my opinion, that it perfectly captures the queer experience and probably one of the best representations I've seen of queer people, so highly recommend it. All right, so moving on to the third spot of top three movies of the year, we have Thunderbolts, which I gave an 8 out of 10. So I know a lot of you are going to be like, "Oh, where's Fantastic Four? Or Fantastic Four is not here." So I just want to, I just want to get this clear that Fantastic Four is just not that good of a movie. It's alright. I think I gave like a 7.5 or a 7. It was really lacking. But anyway, let's talk about actual good movie, which at first, I won't lie, I was going to skip this movie because I had no interest in any of the characters except for like Bucky, which is a given. But I'm so glad I didn't skip. This movie actually made me care about all of these characters, which is great because that's what a movie's supposed to do, especially with these characters that we don't know. Like, I love Yelena now, Ghost, Bob, especially with or Sentry slash Void. Those are all such amazing characters. Walker, just seeing this character though was just amazing. Just their dynamic. I didn't even think this movie was gonna be that much of a comedy, and it was more funny if anything. The pacing was great. The plot was good, and I know I talked about this more in my MCU rankings video, so you should watch that if you want more in depth. But yeah, I don't think that name was bad. What people said was like the power of friendship. I definitely feel like it could have been worse. I feel like they handled it in a great way. I wouldn't call that the power of friendship. A really solid movie, and yeah, I definitely didn't see this coming being in my top three movies of the year. So very surprising, but great movie. Recommend it to everyone. All right, my number two spot, technically it's an anime movie, but I have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, which I gave an 8 out of 10. This movie was really great. I read the manga, but just seeing an anime really reminded me how good this was. Like, I know everyone says Demon Slayer has a mediocre story, but I feel like this is where we finally get to see it shine the most, to have like an actual pretty solid story is like this entire arc. And just seeing the animated was really great. The fights were amazing. Akaza's backstory was amazing. Really is just such a great movie. I know people complain that like the pacing was off. It kind of just felt like they just pushed together like a bunch of anime episodes together and then didn't really pace it in a movie format, which yeah, I guess is a bit of a complaint for me. It could feel long. I stayed through the entire movie. I didn't have to use the bathroom or anything like that, and everyone in my theater was just locked into it the entire time. So was I. Yeah, it definitely has me excited for these next two movies, and I'm excited to see where this goes, see how well they animate everything else, because everything else was amazing. Like, I don't think there was a single bad animated thing, so I definitely did like it. They didn't let me down. I was scared for the Zenitsu fight, but they did it justice, so I'm happy for that. But yeah, highly recommend watching Demon Slayer. If any of you guys don't watch animes, I think that's a great start of anime. Alright, so now for my number one spot, which I honestly thought it was going to be Fantastic Four, to be honest, but I have Superman, which I gave up 8.5 out of 10. I was not a Superman fan before this movie. I guess I just never really seen any good adaptations. I just thought he was, just an overpowered superhero, nothing much to really see, but this movie definitely turned me into a Superman fan. Like, I started reading Superman comics. I got a Superman t-shirt as soon as I finished this movie. James Gunn really did cook with this. He never really fails, I guess. He just always cooks up something. The gun didn't jam. The acting was great. The fight sequences were great. Cinematography, all amazing. And the plot was pretty good too. Like, there's barely any complaints I have about it. I guess the only main one is just, I guess it could feel fast paced, especially for me, someone who doesn't know that much Superman lore. Like, I don't know much about Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, so it kind of just throws you right in there. So I feel like, especially for anyone who has less experience than I have with Superman, it could be a bit overwhelming and a little bit fast paced, but other than that, it's a great movie. I love Superman's speech. I love the speech with the Papa Kent, amazing. Just, and then Superman's monologue at the end to Lex Luthor. The performance of Lex Luthor's actor was amazing. Just, he really brought out Lex Luthor. I know I'm not a Superman fan, but like, that's definitely probably one of the best Lex Luthors I've seen. Alright, moving on to TV series. At the number 3 spot, I have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I gave an 8 out of 10. And before I start, I guess I could say this could be swappable with Invincible, which I did like a lot too, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Invincible and Welcome to Derry. Gen V and Peacemaker ripped them too. They just didn't really perform that well this year. I was expecting a lot more. I thought these two would definitely be more up there, but yeah, they just didn't make the cut. And yeah, as you can see, Stranger Things also didn't make the cut. We don't really gotta talk about Volume 2 and Volume 3. Yeah, the fall off was pretty bad. But I don't know, if you guys want a video, leave a comment down, because I probably won't go on to it. And if I do make a video, it'll probably be more negative. I don't have too many positive things to say after Volume 2 and 3. But if I see a couple comments there that wants a Stranger Things Volume 2 and 3 review, I'll give you guys it. But yeah, I don't have too much good to say about it. Anyway, moving on to the actual good show we're talking about that actually made my top 3. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I gotta admit, at first I did not like the animation. I thought it was bad, but I had to warm up to it, and it's really good now that I can see it. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and just actually getting used to it. I think that's the main problem, and I guess that could be a downside and could turn some people off. Cause yeah, if you just look at it at first glance, you might think it's not for you. But either way, it's a Spider-Man show, so I had to give it its credit where it's due, and it's a solid show. I like the characters, I like the plot. Yeah, it was just good to see a Spider-Man show. We haven't got one in a while, so yeah, I'm excited for season 2 to see where they take this from, especially with the ending and some of the other characters like Lonnie. I think they're making him become like Tombstone and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see where they go with this. And in my opinion, I think this show was a bit more just emotional because Spider-Man, I guess I'm a little bit biased, so that's why. But I think I can see Invincible at the 3rd spot too, so I could go either way. Okay, at the number 2 spot, I had Daredevil Born Again, which I gave an 8 out of 10. When I first watched this show, I immediately was like, Marvel's back. Like, we got actual good. I don't believe it's rated R, but like, it was definitely darker compared to most of the other MCU shows. Rated R, TVMA, whatever it is, it still was really good. Obviously, it's not better than the first Daredevil show. I don't know why people are even trying to compare them and I guess trash on Born Again. I think it's a really solid show. And yeah, like, we got Daredevil again, and we haven't got this good writing in Marvel from a while. So it was really good to see this. I think people are a bit mad because of Foggy's death, in episode 1 and like Karen leaving and stuff like that, but Karen did come back. I think Foggy might still be alive, so we have to see. The only really complaint is, I guess, since they like switched writers and stuff, so like the season wasn't as solid and put together because of the switches they had to do, but I still think it was really good. I didn't really like the bank episode. I mean, I liked the bank episode, but I don't think it had to be like a tire episode, so that kind of threw me off with the pacing. But everything else was great. Seeing Matt's character, I've loved the visuals of the season. I don't know why people are saying the CGI and the fights were bad. I think they were great. Seeing like the zoom out shots of Matt using his powers and his ears and listening, like those it just looks so cool to me. But yeah, just switching the writers to bank robbery, and I think Muse might still be alive, but if they did kill off Muse that early, that was kind of lame. I thought he was gonna be the big bad with Fisk, of course. I don't know. We'll have to see in season 2, which I don't think will ever live up to the greatness of the first show. But I think it could be a pretty high and decent MCU show, like probably one of the better MCU shows. All right, for my number 1 spot, I have Andor, which I gave a 10 out of 10. Which, yeah, I believe this is my first 10 out of 10 on the channel. So yeah, you're witnessing the first one of this channel, and Andor definitely deserves it. And just because I gave this a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean I think the show's completely flawless and I have like no complaints. I have very few complaints, and I guess most of them is the pacing, especially in season 1. And I think the first 2 episodes in season 2, I think with the farm, were a tiny bit slow, but just the highs outweigh it so much. I feel like it'd just be criminal not to give it a 10 out of 10. Everything is just so great. Just generally peaking this show. The acting, the plot, this is some of the best writing I've ever seen. I think Andor is easily the best Star Wars project we ever got in. I have it above all the original prequel movies, obviously the sequels, but definitely the best Star Wars media we ever gotten. I don't know, I think it might generally be the best show I've ever seen. That's including Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, some of my top live action shows. But I do need to rewatch those too. But from my memory right now, I definitely can say Andor is better, especially writing wise. The acting, the plot is just so great. Even if you don't watch Star Wars, I highly recommend it. You can really just go into this show without knowing Star Wars. It's honestly just a great show, amazing. I really can't complain about it. I highly recommend to everyone. It's just so peak. There's not much else I could say to it. It's just amazing. Well, I guess I will include a little bit about this because I guess it's going to seem kind of hypocritical if I don't talk about a show that I gave a 10 out of 10. But I guess some of my favorite arcs was the Prison Break arc. I think that was amazing. Just seeing Andor rally up these prisoners and actually give them hope, which is crazy. And the death of the prison guard guy because he couldn't swim, that was really sad. And of course, I love the massacre on Gorman. Well, don't love the massacre, but it was a very great arc and very emotional, and I think it's very realistic. And yeah, it was just really sad to see the Gorman people go out there and then the Empire just covering it up. It's just a tragedy. But the episodes were peak, I will say that. And also, I just gotta give a shout out to the acting. It's just amazing. Like, I think this is generally the best acting I've ever seen in all of live action. I generally just forgot sometimes the actors were really just acting. Like, they just got so well into their roles. It's just blended together perfectly, which I've never seen another show or movie do this before. So, might generally just be the best acting I've ever seen. So, shout out to them. Alright, moving on to anime, we have Dr. Stone at the number 3 spot, which I gave an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Solo Leveling at number 4 and Sakamoto Days at number 5. Pretty good, but I'm more of a plot guy, and these two definitely didn't have enough of a plot. But Dr. Stone, however, did. I will admit it did start off a bit slow, but once it got picking up, it never stopped. I was hyped every week, especially towards the end of the season. Like, there was just so much happening, so much action, and I haven't even read. It may just because I haven't read the manga, but I just was just hyped to see whatever happened next, and it was really good. Surprisingly, I didn't think it was gonna be this good because I think the last season was a little bit slow, but they definitely picked it up. I really like seeing the two scientists fight against each other and like trying to outsmart each other, and just seeing like Americans with like the guns versus like straight up science and rocks and stuff, and them fight. That was really cool, and just them trying to just outsmart them each episode one step at a time. It was just very enjoyable, and I was hyped every week. And I feel like we seen everyone participate a lot more compared to the last season. Like we got to see a lot more Chrome and some of these other side characters. I feel like everyone had a role to play. I just love when animes do that, like My Hero during the war arc. Like they have everyone participating. So I think that's really cool. So like no side characters get left behind, which some animes definitely do. Naruto, but you know, we learn. Moving to number 2, I have One Piece, which I gave a 9 out of 10. So even though One Piece is my number 1 anime, something else definitely deserves the number 1 spot this year. But One Piece did a great job this year. I think Kuma's backstory really did carry. I read the manga, but I definitely feel like they made it more emotional, and I feel like they definitely spent more time animating it and just making it look so much better than the manga, even though the art was great. But just seeing the anime, it just did something else to me. Other than that, we definitely did get some cool fights, but honestly, I feel like the pacing wasn't too good, especially towards the end. Like, I remember reading Vegapunk's big reveal secret in the manga, and that was like a chapter and a chapter and a half. But they just really dragged it out for I think at least like 3 or 4 episodes in the anime. It just really did bother me. Other than that, I did really like Kuma's backstory. We got some really good fights like Luffy versus Kizaru, but yeah, I don't think it deserves number 1, even though it has been doing great these last couple of years. But I don't know, maybe next year we'll see how this new seasonal schedule changes the pacing, and I don't know, I'm just hoping it's for the better. Alright, and the number 1 spot goes to, which it definitely deserves, is My Hero Academia, which I gave a 9.5 out of 10. I guess it's just my overall ranking. I probably can't give it a 10 out of 10. There's a few complaints, a couple arcs that are a bit slow and kind of filler-ish, but overall, it's such a great anime. It is my first anime, so I might be a little bit biased, but it really is great. This season, they really did cook with the animation. Every episode is literally rated a 9 or above on IMDb. My Hero definitely deserves this. The animators cooked, and I'm glad to see My Hero is actually getting the recognition it deserves, because in my opinion, it's easily the best new gen. I don't think there really is anything else that comes close that I could think of, especially after Jujutsu Kaisen ending, which I did like more than My Hero at the time before the ending happened. And yeah, My Hero actually had a good ending, so very surprising. Most animes have a pretty bad ending. Fire Force, Attack on Titan, but My Hero is definitely probably, I think, the best anime manga ending I've seen, so I really did like the ending. I liked the fight with Deku and Shigaraki, and I liked how he actually saved him basically at the end, and you know, went against everyone's wishes, trying to say like, oh, you have to kill him, Deku. I like how he fought against that and actually tried to save him, because he knew there was some good in Shigaraki. And I love seeing like at the end with like the old woman helping that child out, the same one who didn't help Shigaraki. Like the amount of hope Deku inspired is insane. Like, in my opinion, he's definitely up there with Superman. I think better than Superman, as in terms of like a hero or a symbol of peace. He might be number 1. Superman could be number 2. No hate to Superman, but he's definitely on that Mount Rushmore. Alright, moving on to everyone's favorite topic. We have books. I don't know if any of you guys even read books, but I do, so I wanted to at least cover this. I didn't read that many books this year, so I definitely gotta do better. In the number 3 spot, I have Circe, which I give a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, Circe, Greek mythology, my favorite mythology, so of course I'm gonna like this book. I really did like seeing the growth of Circe's character and like how she's not really a god, but she's also not really a mortal too. So she's really trying to find her place in this world, especially with like everything going on when you have like gods like Zeus and Athena that are like literally the worst, and then you have bad titans too, like Helios, like her father. So, and then you have bad mortals too, like even though Odysseus is not that good of a person. So just trying to find, and Circe's just trying to help people. She has such high moral standards, so it's kind of hard for her to navigate the world, and it's great to see that, especially like when we get to her island and we can see how terrible the men are to her and how that changes her. My favorite chapters of this book were probably seeing the introduction of Odysseus and his like tragedy of falling off, because I didn't know too much about Odysseus, so it was this was like my first like myth, I guess, of learning about Odysseus and like what happened to him. I just knew about him, but I didn't know like how he fallen and how he started like killing people because he was just so anxious and he was just trying to protect everything. It just showed how like he was being so paranoid. I like seeing Odysseus at first and how Circe and Odysseus related to each other and how they had similar morals and stuff like that. So that was really cool, and that was probably one of the better men that Circe met. So I definitely like those chapters and learning more about Odysseus. Then I definitely do like the chapters of Circe being the mother and introduce of Telegonus and like trying to protect him from Athena. Circe actually being the mother too, like that changed her character too. And it showed like the ends she was willing to go to protect her son, which was really cool. And then of course I love the ending too, where she basically turns herself back into a mortal. So that was really cool to see. And honestly, I mean, I guess someone else probably seen it coming, but it surprised me. I think it makes sense. All right, number 2, I have The Court of the Dead, which I gave 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm a big Percy Jackson fan with the trident and the YouTube banner. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this book, but I definitely do think Sun and Star is easily better. I probably have Sun and Star at least an 8.5, maybe a 9. I definitely enjoyed that book a lot more. Yeah, Nico is my favorite Percy Jackson character, so it was nice to see him get a sequel, and we get to see him continue his character development and relationship development with Will. So that's really cool to see, and I'm just glad in general that we got a sequel and that we get more Nico content. I did like seeing, like I said before, Nico's development and like how he's like actually like doing therapy with Mr. D, which I never thought would happen. So that is really funny to see that, and just seeing all these characters grow. Like even Mr. D is like more open and stuff because he's grown to these characters. So I don't get why people are complaining about his character changing. Like if he's at camp for that many years, surrounded by such great people, I think they would have some influence on him, which we could definitely see with Nico and Will. And maybe that's why he interacts differently with them compared to like Percy and Annabeth. So it makes sense to me, but I think it was really cool to see that. One thing I really did like about this book was the plot and how it didn't feel so much like a quest storyline like most of the other Percy Jackson books. I liked how we actually got to like chill in Camp Jupiter, get to know these characters, and like have the story progressing. That's something that's not in a quest format until like maybe like the second or third half. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool. And of course seeing like Frank and Hazel, especially Hazel, just exploring more what the mist was. I definitely didn't think we were gonna get so much more of mist lore basically, because I feel like we didn't really explore that much in Heroes of Olympus. So I'm glad we got more exploration of that, and I think we might even get more potentially in the future. So I think it's cool to see that and actually learning what the mist is and the properties it has basically. All right, for my number 1 spot for the books, I have Sarver Wants to Die at the End, TV Date 3, which I gave a 9.5 out of 10. So first off, I know this is more of a niche book too. I feel like not that many people know about it, but if it does sound interesting, I would highly recommend TB Date 1 and 2 before this discussion. I'll probably also make a more in-depth review videos on all 3 of these books separately before TV Date 4 comes out, which I believe will be coming out this year, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, if it sounds interesting, then I think you should check it out. Without going into too much spoilers, DC Universe basically has a system called Deathcast, which calls you 24 hours before you die, and it navigates usually 2 characters and some other side characters' perspectives and how they deal with about to die in 24 hours, and seeing the relationship between these two main characters and other outside characters and how they're also dealing with stuff. But yeah, that sounds interesting. I would highly recommend, again, check out TV Date 1 and 2 because I'll probably also be making videos of those later this year. Now moving on specifically to this book, I really do like Paz and Alano as the 2 main characters. I think that was one of my main complaints about the second book. I didn't find the characters that appealing, but Paz being suicidal and really depressed, just seeing how he deals with that, how he has to hide his emotions from even like his parents. It's really sad to see even the self-harm things. It was definitely hard to read at points. I think this was also for the author too, because he dealt with trauma like this and dealt with being depressed, so this was more of a therapy book for him, and I think it could also be a therapy book for anyone else who's feeling a bit depressed. Alana was also great too, just learn learn more about Deathcast and see more things from like the corporate side was really cool, and seeing how he wants to be different from his father, and he doesn't want to become like here. He wants to like have freedom, and I know that's more of a cliche theme, but I feel like they do it really well in this, especially when you have outside factors like his father, like keep pressing onto him, telling lies, keep reactivating him in Deathcast. When I read that, I was like, that's insane. I can't believe he did that. Just stuff like that. And of course, Paz and Alana, their relationship is great. Just seeing them spend time together, Alana helping Paz helping Alana, it's just great to see that. And I really finished this book in like I think less than a month. Like the pacing was great, and there was very few slow parts. Maybe some of the parts in LA at the beginning, but overall, I was really hyped for this book, and I really did like seeing Paz and Alana's relationship, and I'm really, really excited. Definitely, probably the most anticipated book of this year. Or well, I guess we got Doomsday, but it's definitely like in my top three things that I'm most anticipated to consume this year. So I'm excited to see what happens in the next book, especially with that cliffhanger, which is insane. Okay, for the last category, I have games, which at the number 3 spot, I'm gonna give them Marvel Rivals, which is one of the main games that I've been playing. I found it really enjoyable, especially with the addition of Gambit. I think that was one of the better heroes they added recently, and he is my main, which I was able to hit Grand Master with, so no flex, but I just wanted to shout that out real quick. And yeah, maybe if you guys want to see some gameplay, it would help if you guys left a like, subscribed, so I could upgrade my PC and I should be able to stream and record and play the game. That would be highly appreciated. But yeah, I found this game really enjoyable. One of the more enjoyable online games this year, probably last year too. But yeah, I would recommend everyone play it out. Maybe not comp. Comp could be a bit stressful, but quick play is still fun, and they've been keeping the game alive for almost like a year now, a little bit over, so I'm excited to see what they add in the future seasons. Number 2, Ghost of Yote. I just want to put a disclaimer that I did not finish this game yet. I haven't had that much time to be playing games, so I really do want to get back into games. I'll probably also make some gaming videos for you guys later. Like, I haven't played The Last of Us or Uncharted yet, so those are just, I have no idea what those games are about, so it'll be a first time playing through. So if you want to see my reactions and gameplay of that, leave a comment of that too. But Ghost of Yote was fun. I got to a good amount part. I think I beat the Kitsune in the northeast area. I think it was a pretty fun game. I like exploring. They have a good amount of side missions. I just like the format of the game a lot too. Like, forces you to do the side missions more compared to Ghost of Tsushima, which it didn't really let you do, because I kind of sidelined the side quests, I guess. I'm definitely more immersed into the side quests now. As you can see, like, I'm barely in the main story, and I probably have like 25 hours on the game, and I'm mainly doing side quests, so I would say that's a good thing. But yeah, I feel like it's a pretty fun game, and like I said, I haven't played that many games this year, so I'm just going based off what I played. So if you have any recommendations for other games, let me know. Alright, and finally at the number 1 spot, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I'll also give another disclaimer: I have not finished. This is why none of these have ratings, because I never finished any of these. Well, I had fun, and I'm definitely still planning to finish the game. I've been having fun with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think I made it to like the 4th, 5th sub level. I think it's just really cool, like the destructive nature of the game, to be able to destroy everything. It definitely gives me Mario Odyssey vibes. I don't know if I like it more than Mario Odyssey. Like I said, I still gotta finish it. I think Mario Odyssey might have a better plot. Donkey Kong Bonanza, it just seems like more of a fun, chill game. Sit down, relax to play. Nothing too in-depth. The puzzles are cool, and I don't know, the gameplay's just really fun. It's been a while since I had sat down and had like a fun game to play like this. And of course it has Mario Odyssey vibes, which I also really liked about it. I don't know, just smashing everything is just very satisfying. It gives me a lot of FOMO. I think it's a really cool, fun game. And yeah, I would recommend anyone to play it. I wouldn't say it's worth buying a Switch 2 for, but maybe in the future when they add some more games. But let me know if you guys want to hear of any of these games again once I finish them, or if you want other gameplay things. Like I'm planning on doing Last of Us, and I can actually record that on the PS5, so I don't have to worry about my PC for that. All right, and that is it for today. This was I'm sure probably a longer video, but I had to recap like all of 2025, so it makes sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm trying to push out the next video as soon as possible, which I believe will probably be on a Star Wars Rebels review, since I just finished that like last week. But yeah, if you guys want a Stranger Things video, I could do that for you guys. So just leave a comment so I actually know if you guys want that. But other than that, I would appreciate if you guys drop a like, a sub too, or start off the new year on a great note. So you have a good rest of your day, and stay warm. And I'll see you guys on the next one.